Well, let's crawl. We crawled during this interview so that you could walk and get this knowledge so that when you go to work.
I was wondering where you were going to go with that.
So when you go to work tomorrow, when you're hanging out with your friends, you can just sound a little bit smarter if you listen to what Darren Woodson had to say. We asked him an array of questions all surrounding the Dallas Cowboys and just football in general. Get your popcorn and enjoy Darren Woodson breaking down the game.
What is it right now, 5 weeks into the season on that defensive side of the ball?
Personnel.
Really?
This is an easy question. It's personnel. Like, look at your two corners. Bland he was out the entire
first 3 weeks.
You have Diggs that had the bad knee injury, and he's coming back. And now you're asking them to come into a season which they haven't gotten any reps.
Yeah.
An entire new defensive scheme has just come in.
Third in 3 years.
Right? They're not comfortable within the scheme. The defensive coordinator is not comfortable running man coverage because he doesn't trust the outside guys on the edge, right? So there's a little bit of both. They're trying to play a little zone. They're playing a lot of cover three. Yeah. They don't know how to run the cover three scheme the way that the defensive coordinator. I mean, there's just so many nuances that go in there. People think that you can just plug a guy in, like a Diggs who's played 6-7 years. He can just come back in and just plug him in without getting reps. It does not work that way.
Okay.
It does not work that way. We had Deion Sanders who came in into our scheme, and we were busting coverages left and right until Deion got an understanding of what the scheme is. It just takes time.
And we're talking about Deion, maybe the greatest corner of all time.
But greatest football player of all time. Yeah. Yes, and it just takes time. And I just don't think this team has gelled in that fashion, nor do they have an outstanding pass rusher who can win in one-on-one situations.
So the communication issues, this has been a big thing for me. Eberflus has said that he's going to change it to one word. There's been a lot of problems. We've seen slip-ups because sometimes it's personnel where we see a guy's getting beat. Sometimes we just see a guy wide open. Communication problems when you see it this deep where you're the 32 ranked passing defense. Do you put that more on the DC, more on the players not getting it? Where does that?
I hate blaming coaches. I hate blaming coaches because you watch. Being in an NFL locker room and being in media rooms, you know how dedicated these coaches are in this league. It is so competitive. We talk about being competitive on the football field. In a coaching room, it's that much more competitive because everyone wants that job. They try to drill into the players exactly what they want, and they try to simplify. I can tell you, over the years, we try to simplify everything, and that's what good defenses do. Yeah. So it's up to the players who are getting paid millions of dollars to study, get focused, have an understanding, having culture to stay after, and do some extra work. They have to learn the system. Now, I do agree with some of the things as far as knowing your personnel and knowing how to put them in certain situations. But they're not playing a lot of man-to-man coverage. They're playing a lot of zone coverage, which should protect them.
And because we saw Diggs come out and say, like, I want to play more man. I want to play less zone. How does a DC and kind of as a player, how do you build that relationship where what I'm most comfortable with and versus what you're going to coach in?
You earn it. Like Diggs, you need to earn it. It's not like I'm just going to let you just play man-to-man. It ain't about just Diggs. Yeah. I got to have Wilson cover in man-to-man situations. I got to have my other safety cover in man-to-man situations. These guys aren't ready for that. They're not ready for that work. They got to play a little zone until they get ready and they get sharpened up to start playing more man-to-man. But right now, I think Eberflus is doing a good job. I mean, he's lacking personnel-wise.
What made you a great safety?
I just love the game, man. I mean, I don't know if I was any different than anyone else. I think I was probably athletic in the sense that I could cover the slot receiver or cover the tight end or be versatile in certain situations. But, I mean, it's just passion. I just love to show up and compete.
Going back to my boy HT, right? He's got a Hall of Fame resume. His issue is he played on 3 different teams, right? Minnesota, Detroit, New England before they won Super Bowls. Henry Thomas.
Oh, Henry Thomas. Okay, yep.
Okay, 93.5 sacks from the nose tackle position. I just read off the stat, and I don't even know if you knew, out of 5 safeties in the entire NFL history, only 5 have 5 All-Pros, right? You're one of them. Ronnie Lott, Ed Reed, 2 of them, obviously Hall of Famers. When you hear these conversations and when you go through this, like, does it bother you? That you haven't been in the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely. I mean, I would be lying if I sat here and said it doesn't bother me. Yeah, it bothers me. It does. I mean, because, I played this game at the highest level individually at a position. I probably have more snaps than anyone in the 90s. I have 3 rings And yeah, you always want to be rewarded for what you've done or be recognized for what you've done. So yes, I mean, it bothers me. It bothers me that I'm not there. It bothers me that my kids haven't seen me walk across that stage, and my wife, my mom, and everyone else that poured into me all these years. Yeah. And not only that, but the guys that I played with on that defensive side of the ball never got recognized. And we were number one defense throughout those years of winning Super Bowls. So, yeah, I want to recognize those guys.
Before you get to the NFL, obviously there's a lot of steps that have to go right. Yeah. If you had to talk back to your younger self, and obviously you've got kids, what did you think is that most important stage of kind of really locking into your craft? Of course, it's a lifelong process, but if you don't hit it during this period, it's going to be tough to get to the next step where you see that major growth happen. Where do you see that for all kind of the young people that are trying to make it?
Look, I'm a firm believer, though. The most dangerous person is someone who truly believes in themselves. If I truly believe in the work that I put in, it's like the Kobe Bryant thing. You watch Kobe Bryant, he believes in himself so much that when it's time to go play the game, he's prepared. He's done all the little things, and then he goes out and he performs. Yeah, there's some athleticism that goes along with that. But that's the most dangerous person. And I firmly believe there's a lot of kids today that come out and play, even in the NFL, that don't believe in their body of work and what they've done in the off season to prepare to play on Sunday.
Yeah, and that's scary when you're second guessing.
And that's scary. So when you do have the great ones, you know that guy is walking up and saying, I'm the baddest you can say in the world. This is what I do. This is who I am.
Real quick, Arizona State guy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
How do you feel about Arizona State in the Big 12?
Man, I love my school, man. Don't you start, man. I love my
I'm a
school.
Jayhawk. So how do you feel about the Big 12?
Yeah. We're going overseas next year to beat y'all up, aren't we? That's what's going on, Fred.
We'll put something on it then before that goes down. How have you liked that transition to the Big 12, though? I mean, obviously, I had to hurt you a little bit to see the Pac-10 go away. I mean, there's some... No,
you know
really?
why? Because I live here in Texas, and I finally get to see them.
That's true.
They came to Baylor. They'll be back here probably next year to play TCU.
Yeah.
They're making that Texas. We watched them last year play in against the University of Texas in the bowl game. I'm so proud of what that organization or that school has done over the last few years.
Scatterboo, man.
Scatterboo put him on the map, man. I was hoping he would be here in Dallas.
Yeah, nice
but I really like what the program has done, and it's just good to be here in Texas and seeing my team coming to town.
Last thing out of us, real quick. Will Shoddy get this thing right?
Time. We got to give him time.
Okay.
We got to give him time. I think Shoddy has all the energy. I think he pours into these guys. I think he's making it very competitive at practice, which is needed. And I just think we need to give him time. But they got to draft right. They got to get into free agency. And, it always starts up top in my mind.
Okay.
It starts with the Joneses. And then it comes down to the GMs and then the head coach. But they have to get on the same page as far as going out and bringing in better personnel.
Did you want to take a basketball bet, too, or just football?
No, we.
That was Fred and I having a good old-fashioned just talking ball with Super Bowl champ Darren Woodson. Three-timer. It was a super fun conversation. He was very genuine as he sounded on that video as he was off camera or off video, if you will. Mind you, he had just spent the first 45 minutes mindlessly signing autographs, like tirelessly going through that.
Talking ball with people.
Talking ball, talking to the Tolos, talking to the Fatties, talking to the people that were at the fan hang on Sunday at the Star in Frisco. So he could have been like, hey, I'm good, guys. Appreciate y'all, but I'm out of here. He took time out of his day to talk to us and give us a little one-on-one, or I guess two-on-one. Two-on-one fast break lives on, Fred.
That's it. No, it absolutely does. You guys have seen it at... I mean, we've done a little bit of it in the Cowboys locker room. Pause. We've done it at Mavs Media Day, and now at the Star.
Mm-hmm. What was your biggest takeaway from that interview? I think mine was probably just the first answer he gave when we were asking about it, and he's like, "It's not on Eberflus. I think Eberflus is doing a fine job, but it's the personnel. He's doing the best he can." And he kind of mentioned the different limitations that the players have and injuries. So that was for me the biggest takeaway, Cowboys related.
Mine was the fact that he was so candid about not being in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, because you get some guys that are like, hey, it doesn't bother me. It's not, I did what I could do, da-da-da. And it's like, no, I belong in the Hall of Fame. Like, I played more snaps in the 90s. We won 3 Super Bowls. I was a 5-time All-Pro. I mean, well, I said that. But, he's a 5-time All-Pro. He's like, yeah, I want my kids to see it. I want my wife to see it. I want my mom to see it. Like, I should be a Hall of Famer. And...
to hear, and again, it's one of them things where it's like you look at his numbers, and I was going through the stats, because it's one of them things where it's like like when you're a die-in-the-wool Cowboy fan, like a lot of the listeners are, all right, yeah, you guys probably have all his stats memorized, and for me, it's like, okay, I knew he won 3 Super Bowls, I knew he was a pivotal part of that, but you go through and you kind of do a little bit of a deep dive on his statistics anyway in his career to kind of get a little flavor for it for when you talk to him, and then you're like, my God. This dude was a 5-time All-Pro, right? I mean, Pro Bowl's one thing. I mean, you can. I mean, Tyler Huntley was a Pro Bowler one year, okay? So,
like Fred, you can speak to this. Like going back in the '90s, and then obviously the older you get, the bigger deal it was. I feel like even in the '90s, like if you made the Pro Bowl more than like twice, you were like
absolutely
an all-decades player.
You don't want to take anything away from it. I mean, I don't want to belittle what a Pro Bowl means.
No, totally. But you get what I'm saying, where it's just like.
Well, my thing is though is that to be an All-Pro that's the entire league, right? Because you can be a Pro Bowler on your AFC, your NFC, but when it's the All-Pro, like you were the best in the National Football League at your position, and he did it 5 times. And as when we introduced him on Sunday, there's only 5 players in the history of the National Football League, 5 safeties in the history of the NFL who have 5 All-Pros under their belt. And Darren Woodson's one of them. All right? And he's the only one that's not in the Hall of Fame. So, I mean, come on, man. It's the and with baseball, you get the politics. Okay, maybe the writers didn't like him and all that kind of stuff. Like, there's zero reason why Darren Woodson shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
So I was going to ask you, so with football, because baseball, there's a thing where it's like you become eligible, and then after so many years, if you don't like qualify,
if you don't reach like 75% or something like that, you fall off the ballot.
You fall off the ballot, and you can't come back on it, right?
So you can get brought back on like the old timers committee or senior committee or something like that.
But so it's like something where it's like you can. It happens, so many years after you retire, you stop playing. And then if you miss out on that window, you're effectively out until you're like 70 years old, right? I just worry that he's going to become like a Drew Pearson, where it's going to be like 30 plus years removed from when he played, and finally it's going to be like
I hope
all right,
not.
Here you go.
I hope not.
Me too. Like that's and because that was the biggest thing I got from this. I've never spoken to him, never met him.
Yeah.
But he just strikes me as a really genuine guy.
Oh, he absolutely is.
Just like a great person, and that's what's disappointing.
What you guys didn't hear on this interview was he spent 2 minutes answering a question that Blake had him about coaching, right? And was talking, formation, schemes, and what have you, something totally unrelated to anything we were doing as far as the, Cowboy and NFL football, and didn't dismiss it, like was actively intrigued, interested, and gave you legit feedback because and then I asked him, I said, why aren't you coaching after asking him that? And he's like, they don't pay enough, right? And so we had we laughed, and then we got into the nuts and bolts of the interview. But again, it's one thing to be a prisoner of the moment, and when you're around somebody to say, yeah, I think this guy should be a Hall of Famer, but no, there's zero reason why Darren Woodson is not in the Hall of Fame.
We'll take it home with this. 972 said ChatGPT said Darren Woodson should 100% be in the Hall of Fame.
If AI says it's got to be true. Okay.
If AI says it, I agree with it. Let us know what your favorite moment was from the interview.